Welcome back, Year 6, to our 13th Destination Reader session about the story Cloudbusting by Malorie Blackman. Just a reminder that any keywords that I want you to focus on today are going to be found in red. These are important words for your learning, including vocabulary words, as well as sentence starters from your strategy prompt that you should be using during your lessons. Any questions for you to answer will be found in blue, and any time I'm going to ask you to pause the video and write down your answers, those times will be signaled in green. Let's get started. Before we do, please make sure that you have a copy of the text, a strategy prompt sheet, as well as a pencil and something to write on. If you don't yet have these things, pause the video now and get them. Awesome, let's get started. Today we're going to be continuing on with our inference skills. We're focusing on inference because it's a very important skill to have as a reader. I haven't asked you this in a few lessons, Year 6, so let's dig into our long-term memory. What two things do we use to help us make inferences? Pause the video now and write your answer in your home learning book. Awesome job! I'm sure every single one of you has written that we use background knowledge and clues from the text to read between the lines and make inferences. Well done, Year 6. And our vocabulary today. Today we have 4 vocabulary words that we are going to focus on. The first one is a verb. What is a verb? Well done. A verb is a doing word. Our first vocabulary word today is jab. Jab. Well done. To jab someone is to roughly or quickly poke someone with something. So in our story, Mr. Mackey jabbed Davy with his EpiPen. Our second word is an adjective. It describes a noun. It's the word unconscious. Unconscious. Well done. The word unconscious means to be not awake or aware of what's going on. If you are unconscious, you're not responding to your surroundings. Our third word is also an adjective. Remind me, Year 6. What is an adjective? Yes, well done. An adjective is a word that describes a noun. Our third word today is swollen. Swollen. Well done. If something is swollen, it is larger than its normal size. Often, when you hurt your finger or your arm, it may get a bit swollen. And our final vocabulary word today is a noun. The word is coward. Coward. Well done. A coward is a person who lacks courage or the ability to do difficult or unpleasant things. I wonder who will be described as a coward in our story. Take a second and make a quick prediction in your head. Who do you think is a coward in Cloudbusting? Awesome. Great prediction. Let's keep going. Today's questions will be 1, 2, and 3 mark answers. So, let's review how we answer these questions. Let's say it together, Year 6. 1 mark questions need a short, snappy answer. Well done. Again, let's say it together. 2 mark questions need a PE answer. Awesome work. And finally, Year 6, let's read this together. 3 mark questions need a PEE answer. Awesome work. Today we're going to start Chapter 17. please turn to Chapter 17 in your book. Chapter 17 is on page 109. I'll give you a few moments to get to the right place and have your finger at the top of the chapter ready to follow along. Okay, let's begin reading. Chapter 17. Fine. Davy was okay. The pen Mr. Mackey jabbed into his leg was a special pen, full of adrenaline. It did the trick. By the time the ambulance arrived, Davy was no longer unconscious. He said he was okay. "I'm fine, Mr. Mackey. I'm fine." But his face was still red, and his lips were swollen, and he couldn't stand up, and he kept scratching his skin. Let's pause there for a minute. Year 6, why do you think Davy was saying, "I'm fine," when he obviously wasn't? He couldn't stand up. His face was red, his lips were swollen. He wasn't fine, but he kept saying he was. Pause the video now and write your answer on a piece of paper. Awesome work. Let's see my answer. I think Davy was saying he was fine because he was embarrassed about what had happened, and he wanted people to stop staring at him. When he told Sam about his allergy, he didn't want him to tell because he didn't want the fuss. So I think he would have been very uncomfortable with everyone staring at him. What do you think, Year 6? Did I get both of my marks on my answer? Yes, I did. Well done. Because I used a point. I told you why Davy was saying he was fine. Because he was embarrassed. And I used evidence from the text to support my answer. Awesome work. I hope you got 2 marks as well. Let's keep reading. Mr. Mackey insisted that he went to the hospital. Davy's mum was going to meet him there. As the school secretary helped Davy out of the classroom, Mr. Mackey closed the door and turned to me and said, "Sam, tell me exactly what's been going on, now." So I did. Every detail. Mr. Mackey picked up Alex's sandwich from the floor, where it had fallen, and opened it, pulling the ham from the bread. There beneath it, the yellow gleam of butter. Mr. Mackey was so angry. Alex was still crying. Mr. Mackey took Alex out to see the head. How do you think Mr. Mackey is feeling here? 1 mark, Year 6. Pause the video now and write your quick, snappy answer. Awesome job. Mr. Mackey is feeling angry. So angry. As he should be. Let's keep reading. Whilst he was gone, I turned around, and everyone was looking at me. Eyes on me again. "It wasn't my fault," I whispered helplessly. Hopelessly. If I knew what Alex was up to, I'd have stopped him. A few eyes turned away at that. In disgust? In disbelief? Why didn't anyone believe me? Davy was my friend. I wouldn't have let Alex do it. But no one knew Davy was my friend, because I didn't want anyone to know. Let's stop here. Why do you think no one believed Sam? This is a 2-mark answer, Year 6. So I would like you to answer the question with a point, and then give me evidence or a reason to support your answer. Pause the video now. Well done. All right, let's look at my answer. I think no one believed Sam because he was the class bully and had always been mean to Davy. That's my first mark, Year 6. That's my point. Here's my evidence. He did things like write mean poems about Davy, talk rudely about Davy, and push Davy. No one knew that they were friends. They only knew about all the mean things Sam did. So, this, giving Davy the peanut, fit in with the other mean things Sam had done. Let's continue reading. We'll read to the end of chapter 17. They thought I was with Alex. Like Alex, another Alex. No, they thought I was Sam. Worse than Alex. And they were all right. I was worse because I was a coward. Year 6, there's that vocabulary word, coward. It was Sam who's being called a coward. Did you guess that? Awesome job if you did. Let's keep reading. I was a coward. Davy could be my friend, as long as no one found out, as long as no one knew. Just him and me, just me and him. Davy, just you and me and you, a secret to be shared by two. I ran from the room, I escaped to the toilets. I locked the door and lowered the lid and sat down and looked down at my shoes and watched the water fall from my eyes, escape from my eyes, flee, break free, and drop from my eyes. Splash onto my trainers, splish, splash, splatter, splatter. All right, that is the end of chapter 17. Year 6, my final question to you today is a 3-mark question. Remind me, please, what do I need to have in a 3-mark answer? Well done. I need to have a point, my evidence, and my explanation. In this chapter, Sam says that he is a coward. Do you agree or disagree that Sam is a coward? Use evidence to support your answer. Pause the video now and write down your best 3-mark answer. Awesome job. All right, let's take a look at my answer. I do agree that Sam is a coward, because a coward is someone who is not brave, and Sam has shown that he is not brave several times throughout the book. First, when he would only be secret friends with Davy, he was afraid what his friends would say. So Year 6, that is a piece of evidence. My second piece of evidence, with a bit of explanation, says, second, when he didn't go after Davy when he had spoken rudely about him, Sam again acted like a coward, scared of what others would think of him for doing the right thing. I've now got 2 marks, Year 6. Let's see if I can get my 3rd mark. Finally, when Sam didn't stop Alex from hurting Davy, he was putting his own comfort above the safety and well-being of others, which is certainly coward-like behavior. So, I've told you that I agree that Sam is a coward. I've said he showed that several times throughout the book. And then I gave you 3 examples of how Sam has shown he is a coward. I hope that you had written down your best 3-mark answer yet. I'm sure you did. And that's the end of our reading today, Year 6. Tomorrow we'll continue reading and carry on making inferences. Today, I would like you to answer this question. Do you think this situation will change Sam and his behavior? If yes, how? If no, why? I want you to write a few sentences or a short paragraph explaining your answer. Remember, you can send your answers to me in an email, or you can share your ideas on MyUSO. Well done, Year 6, and I will see you next time.